see that? It's like he just rubbed metal across his jawline. Hello YouTube, it's Little Derek.comics back with another video, and today we are going to be reacting and breaking down the Street Fighter 6 Sagat gameplay trailer. So, as usual, we're gonna play it through one time just for like the initial reaction, and then we're gonna go back and just kind of pick at things and break things down. Now, before we get started, I would like to give a special shout out to Street Fighter and the FGC in general. Because honestly, if I didn't get into like Street Fighter when I did, this is my first Street Fighter 6 video, but I've been playing Street Fighter since I was in like middle school. So if it weren't for like competitive fighting games, me getting into Street Fighter, I wouldn't be into like competitive fighting games or just competitive games in general. The people that make the like character breakdowns and all that, that comes from like the FGC. That's where I got inspired to do that kind of stuff from. So, if you like videos like that, please leave a like and be sure to subscribe for more. And shout out to all the creators who make content like this. It's gonna boost this in the algorithm. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and let's start this trailer. Okay. I love the spray paint thing too, for like the Capcom logo.
Who reached the pinnacle of Muay Thai and then became one of the grand masters of an international terrorist organization.
I had to turn on the captions.
Sagat.
All right, let's see it. Okay. So standard Sagat stuff. He's looking like classic Sagat. That's a nasty throw, by the way. Did he just kick into a? That must have been command. That's still weird though. He looks so aggressive. Like, look how strong. Yo, he ate that. He kicked through that. Oh, that's nasty. Okay. Okay. Oh. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh, that combo was sick. Oh, why does he look so aggressive? Bro.
I shall fight you until your final breath.
That was a weird JoJo pose he had there. Okay. Oh, man, there's a lot to unpack here. Okay. This is just so, he looks just so strong. It doesn't make sense. Oh, like, bro, I love the way his moves look. I love when they do this. I love when they do like the double drive rush thing. All right, let's see the level 3. Oh, he looks so brutal. Oh man.
I cannot lose. Not to anyone.
Nah, Sagat looks sick though. Oh man. So I got it slowed down ever so slightly, and we're just gonna go ahead and break down his move sets and everything. So yeah, if you before we begin, if you didn't hear like the announcer, he's basically saying how Sagat ended up being a part of Shadaloo and how he's kind of, I guess, an emperor now. That's some of this I didn't even know, but Sagat, classic Street Fighter 1 character. Honestly, he precedes Street Fighter 2, so it's insane. He's a classic character, and we got a stage back here. We got the tiger and everything. So a lot of like classicness going on. But let's actually get into the move set. So we got round 1 fight, and then we're starting off rip with just the strongest, just heavy punch counter to Ryu. Like, nice, Sagat. Nice, strong start. And then he goes into like this, I'm assuming that's heavy kick. Since he got the counter, I'm assuming he just went straight into heavy kick. I don't think like it's like a target combo or anything. And that leaves him flying. So, and then we get this this standing heavy, I'm assuming. So this will be good as an anti-air, and it also just hits twice. So probably good in combos as well. That also could have been a command normal. Matter of fact, no, yeah, that was probably a command normal, actually. Yeah, that was probably like maybe a forward hitting attack. I know somebody has something similar to that. So yeah, I think that's maybe like a forward heavy. And then we've got like crouching medium, and it's a counter. You didn't see like Ryu try to hit him probably, but like he definitely countered Ryu just then. And he doesn't combo immediately after. Ryu tries to like hit him again with like a heavy kick, and then he counters him again with his own heavy kick. And since he got the counter to the heavy kick, he can just do another heavy kick and knock him down. So that was that. Uh, Also, his heavy kick just has a lot of range. That's one thing about Sagat in every game. He is dangerous because he's got range. His attacks just send him flying at you. It's hard to get around his projectiles too. He's like Ryu on steroids. It's like he is like bigger, arguably stronger Ryu. All right, so there's his like sweep attack, and then he goes for like this overhead. So it seems like he's got a few command normals to go about. I'm assuming this is like forward medium. And then yeah, like I said, overhead. Yeah, that'll be good for catching your opponents on the ground like any other overhead. But then we get this aerial attack, and it's like his air heavy, right? So you get it and you knock him straight to the ground. It doesn't knock down. And then he runs up and just grabs him. And normal forward throw, nothing to write home about. And then he gets like the medium kick. And this is something I wanted to point out too. Like he kind of chases him down with that medium kick. Also, it doesn't look like a normal medium kick. I want to say his normal medium kick looks a little bit different than this, if I'm not mistaken. So I think this is also a command normal. And the fact that he kind of moved forward a little bit with it, I'm guessing it's like a forward medium kick. And because you see like Ryu, if you can like pay attention, Ryu like backdashes before he does it. So he backdashes and chases him down. Again, Sagat has a lot of range. And then it's not a combo. I thought it was I thought it was like a command throw combo or something like that earlier, but that wouldn't make sense. So I think he just had enough time to like throw him before Ryu could react, and he goes for like a back throw. That looks like a normal back throw to me. And then we get the taunt. You see all the villagers, the tiger in the background, and I guess this is the place he protects. But right here, they clashed at first, and then they're both doing their level 1 super, and his projectile super just eats through Ryu's with like 3 hits to spare. Like do. You see how he just got hit with all that? Like even the tiger's like, yo, what? But yeah, and then it looks like his projectile comes out faster. So he started his technically right here, but it looks like Ryu's also starting the animation for his. So that leads me to think that he may be a charge character or like a semi-charge character, which would make sense because I think that's how historically he is. And I do like that we do have some charge elements in this game, like guile and things. I think certain people just need at least a charge move. Maybe not a full-on charge character, but I feel like people need at least a charge move or something. It's part of Street Fighter. And then you see him go for that Hadouken, and his Tiger Knee just goes straight through it. Now, granted, that's probably like maybe a heavy Tiger Knee, but if one goes through it, why wouldn't the others? Like, I think for like Ryu's light Tatsu, it doesn't go through projectiles. I just recently played Street Fighter the other day after like a long hiatus, but that's how I remember that. But maybe his light Tiger Knee doesn't go through projectiles. Also, for the Tiger Knee, it better be a Tiger Knee input. They better not have babyfied the Tiger Knee. It's literally the Tiger Knee. If it's not a Tiger Knee input, then it's not a Tiger Knee. This is a freaking cub knee. This is a freaking house pet knee or something like that. If it's not a Tiger Knee, if you're on modern controls, you're not doing a Tiger Knee. I want that to be removed from the moveset. You do everything else, Tiger uppercut. You need to do the Tiger Knee input to get a Tiger Knee. All right, but in all seriousness, boom. All right, my bad. So He's got another aerial that is again good in, for like anti-airing and controlling the air. And it does a multi-hit. It's very similar to Ryu's. I don't know what the move's called, but his medium air, his classic medium air, where he kind of like double hits somebody in the air and he can get Shoryu off of it. Which honestly, I feel like Ryu needs a lawyer because it seems like Sagat is just kind of copying his flow. You know what I mean?
He copied my whole flow!
But yeah, he gets it and then goes for what I'm assuming is maybe a light or a medium DP. It seemed pretty quick for it to be like a heavy. Plus, I think we see his heavy later and it's much different. So he goes for his heavy kick as an anti-air. His anti-air game is insane. And then this is what I mean with like the heavy shit. So you see how much range that had on it? Like, look at this windup. Boom. And then he goes from here to all the way over here. That's like half a screen like of bro, the distance he just went on that is insane. And then he goes into like they love spicing up these like DP inputs with like extra hits now, but yeah, he gets a knee, and then he even gets a wall bounce. Is this Street Fighter? When do we have like? Yeah, sometimes we'll have a wall bounce in Street Fighter, but what? How did he wall bounce him that high up? This is not MVC. This ain't Dragon Ball Fighters, bro. Chill. All right, so now we got like a block string here with a few lights. So light kick, and then he starts like this kind of Rekka, either like a Rekka or a stance move, which so it always starts from like this knee, right? I don't even know how to explain that, but it starts from this knee. And then he's got this version is like a sweeping kind of overhead kick. So that's one version of it. And then here's another one. I think that was his medium punch that started that combo right here. I think that's a crouch medium. So crouch medium crouch medium punch into the knee, and then from here he does like a high kick and it leaves him flying. So that's the second one. That's the second version of this. But yeah. He gets the high kick, and then he counters. The counters are crazy. He counters with that long heavy punch. Was that crouch heavy? Yeah, crouch heavy punch into, and then this is like he kind of swings the knee around. So at first it was like a overhead sweep kick, then it was like a high kick, and now it's like he's just kind of rubbing his fiery knee on top of you, really. and then that continues into like another kick. I don't know if that's specifically part of that one. I think it is, because when it does the EX, it specifically does that little maneuver. And then he's just kind of ragdolling in the air. And then he follows up, he forward dashes into his heavy kick. So this would be really good for like combos. You could probably do a lot of like drive rushes into it. So yeah, his combo game is gonna go crazy off of that. And then he cancels that into a level 2 super. Now the thing about this level 2 super is it also has a lot of different versions. So, or I think it does, because it has like different moves every time he does it. So he knees you, strangles you, and then he like does a flying kick to like send you off. That I want to say it's different every time he does that. And then we get the classic, iconic Sagat with the shorts with no brand on it. Y'all could at least put Street Fighter 6 or something. Like, I mean, I guess he doesn't necessarily need to shop like brand name or anything like that. It seems like a humble dude, but. And then we get that we get drive rush into heavy kick into, I think this is gonna be his either medium kick or like a command normal like forward medium kick. It's some form of medium kick, I'm guessing. Or it could be a heavy kick. Whatever, I don't know what that multi-hitting kick that he follows up with after it is, but I feel like he already has a lot of command normal, so I'm gonna just assume that's his medium kick. But there's something that happens later that makes me think that's probably like a command normal though. But yeah, here's the EX version of the knee I was talking about, and it does like the exact same like knock up. So I think when you do the EX version, it'll give you that, and it'll give them that really high knock up. And then he goes into what I'm assuming is either medium or heavy DP. And then he has a nice bait right here. So he does his like the high projectile. I forgot what the name of his projectile was. I don't feel like looking it up. Cook me in the comments. But he goes for the high one and then the low one, and then Bison like goes through it with his Psycho Crusher, and then he counters the Psycho Crusher with the EX Tiger Uppercut. He has a lot of range, and he can kind of control the kind of zoning aspect of the game. So he's going to be really tough to fight against, just as he always has. This is really what you expect to fight against when you fight Sagat. And then it just does like a multi-hit move. It's kind of like when you kind of halfway whiff Ryu's Shin Shoryuken, it kind of just does a flying multi-hit. That's kind of what that EX version of that looked like. But yeah, let's go back. So we get, I'm guessing this is crouch medium or medium punch, and then crouch medium punch into stand medium, I'm assuming. Stand medium punch into EX Tiger Knee. And you saw how far that Tiger Knee sent him flying. That EX Tiger Knee sent him like full screen. And then he like went back and then faked him out with like, I'm assuming like medium or heavy Tiger Knee. And then jumps up to evade the throw and then comes down with a he comes down with a heavy punch. So aerial heavy punch is the same thing that knocked him down earlier, and it's a counter. So that's going to be really just a lot of damage he's about to take from that. So crouch heavy punch into EX projectile into the level 2 super again. So we see him do the knee and then the little strangle maneuver, punches him. And this time he just hammers him into the ground. So you see the other one, he like sent him flying. And then this one, he sent him like knocking downwards. And certain characters, they do have level 2s or like different supers where they change depending on like the input. So this could definitely be that, but those are definitely different animations that he's getting off of that level 2. I just don't exactly know how he's doing it or what the practical use is of. Actually, I know what one practical use is because he does it later, but I'm sure that one's good for maybe like finishing them off. It probably does some extra damage. And the other one that we saw before probably gives him a lot more space. I think that's what some of these are for. And then another anti-air. So he jumps up and then catches him with a medium kick. And then he jumps over him and gets this overhead. So with the light kick, so his light kick is going to be, did I say overhead? His light kick is going to be his cross up. He gets a cross up with his light kick. And then he starts like this light combo. So light kick into, I'm assuming, standing light punch. Yeah. So earlier, I think I said that was medium punch. That's standing light punch. My bad. And then crouch light into probably a light projectile, which is probably a charge projectile. That's probably why that works that well too. So he's probably like, starts the charge like right about when he's crouching maybe, and then goes into that. So, and then we see him counter Bison with, that looked like a jab. I guess that was standing light. So yeah, he counters him with standing. Let me see something. See, because that's definitely a standing light because it was two. I mean, that could have been a medium. I don't know. But I'm going to just say, no, that was probably a medium punch. That was probably stand medium, actually. Yeah, I think that was stand medium. Counters Bison with a stand medium after he whiffed the kicks. I forgot what the actual name of his kicks were. But then he goes into drive rush and gets like, I guess, crouch medium punch into the like knee special. And then he goes into this level 2 super again. This time he like throws him behind him. So that's good for like if you want to switch sides. So that's 3 different ones I count. He's got like 3 different versions of that level 2 super. How the different versions are like predicated, like what button input it's predicated on, I'm not sure. But yeah, and then he counters his drive rush. I don't even know what he did out of drive rush, but yeah, he just went and just ran. He didn't even attack. He just went and drive rushed and then got countered by the special attack. And then he goes into like the kind of overhead kick. And then he gets a ground bounce off of that. I'm assuming because it was a counter, maybe, but yeah, it's probably because it was a counter. So he gets the ground bounce, and then he goes into the level 2 super again. This time he knocks him into the air, drive rushes into a heavy punch, I'm assuming, standing heavy. And then that's the EX, right? The EX projectile. And then another projectile, I'm assuming that's like maybe medium. And then he does his level 1 super. And then we get like the awesome drive impact counter, and this is a counter, right? So for him to counter, usually when you do the drive impact and you get the counter, especially, you have enough time to buy a whole new game, come back, and then finish your combo. So you usually want to use your strongest attack to start this combo, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not the best at this game, but and he chooses to go for that double hitting kick I was talking about earlier. So that's what makes me assume that is a heavy attack, like a command heavy, because he could have just went for his heavy kick and then he could have done the exact same thing. But it's either that's a command heavy or that's the medium. And since it does 2 hits, it counts as more damage than the heavy. It's one of the two because I don't quite know, like can't quite think of what his medium kick is off the top of my head. So I'm gonna call it a medium, but that very well might be a command normal. Regardless, it probably does more damage than his heavy, which I want to say does happen sometimes. So yeah, the medium kick, as I'm assuming, and then the EX knee rub, and it does the full little animation. He goes for drive rush into heavy punch, and he's just juggling him at this point. And then he does like I'm gonna assume a heavy tiger knee that sends him flying up even more. Like look, the character just the statue's just like, oh yeah, he cooking, he cooking with this. And he goes for either medium or heavy DP into level 3 super, and he's just bodying him. You see all kind of sweat, drops of everything, and all special. Was that sparks flying from the punch? Look at that. Do you see that? It's like he just rubbed metal across his jawline. It's like insane. But yeah, he's like really deep into that. You see how like the intensity on his face? Like he just bodied, bro. But yeah, that's pretty much the full breakdown of Sagat. I know I probably got a few of his like normals wrong, but yeah, I think he looks really cool. And I think in the like description below it said he comes out on August 5th. So I think he's coming after Evo, right? Because Evo is like the first. So he shouldn't be playable at Evo. He shouldn't be playable at Evo. But they'll probably have like I can't imagine them showing another character, right? So yeah, what are my thoughts on Sagat though? I'm not traditionally a Sagat player. I really like Sagat as a character, especially in the lore of the story. He's a day one Street Fighter character. He was the final boss of the original Street Fighter game, and he's one of the Shadow Lu kind of reps. Not as much as like Vega and Balrog, but I think in the context of Street Fighter 6, he's gonna be really insane. He's got a lot of range, a lot of stage control, and he just looks like he's gonna do a lot of damage. His moves just look so brutal. I really like this rendition of him, and I can't wait to see like the lore and things behind him. I'm probably not going to play him just because, like I said, I don't really play a lot of Sagat. But if you guys would like to see me run some Sagat matches or anything like that, or make some more videos about Sagat, I do have like the rental fighter things in Street Fighter 6, and I can use him. But yeah, I think he looks insane. I think it's cool that his level 2 has like different versions of it. I like the little stance he has. And yeah, it's really cool to see the Street Fighter 2 character or OG Street Fighter characters, represented here. And this also makes me feel like Vega and Balrog are coming at some point. We have Bison, we have Sagat, they're also Shadow Lu. If M. Bison can come back, they will probably be back too. But let me know what you think about Sagat. How do you feel like I did about this breakdown? Do you want to see more Street Fighter content, more character breakdowns? And if you do, I do have some on the channel for, Marvel Rivals and Invincible Versus. So, if you are interested in that, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And with that being said, we've reached the end of the video and I'm out. Peace.